inheritance, and you can go through that. Then I discussed regarding this property rule. See, basically property is nothing but a variable, which I said in these three types of properties we have: single value, page, and advanced properties. So yesterday I showed how to create a single value property through wizard. Okay. So in order to define these properties, so we have three categories I said. So wizard option and data model property. So using this option we can see, using any one option you can define, but mostly from present 8, mainly 8 and 8.4 versions. So wizard is best practice than the other option. There are many other options we have, but using wizard is best practice. Okay. So when you're creating any properties in application, so try to create using wizard. So this process we have seen again regularly. We'll be defining properties in application. Again, we'll be using other types also in the later scenarios. So now today I'll show you how to define properties using the other option, data model property, create and quick create option. Okay. So for this what I need to do means, so first of all we are going to, so see once again, see once your properties are created, it will show under your class wherever you define them. Suppose in the work layer I created in the last session, so from work layer I opened the widget, so property widget, or we can say data model widget. So once we define the properties, all the properties list it will show in the work layer, that is under the work layer, and you'll be getting a category called data model. So if I expand that, you can see property and all the list of names. You can see what are the property names you have given. So you can see all the list of property names. Okay, let's see once again. So if you go to app explorer, so what are the fields created or what are the properties created in the last session? So you can expand the data model option and expand property. So we can see the list of properties here. Okay. So now today we'll see some other examples. See, the other option is you can add one property at a time using this option, data model property. See, if you right click on data model, if you go to create option and click on this option property, see, using this option we can add one property at a time. We can define, select this. So this page will open, the rule form will open. So I'm going to create a property called gender. See, the same if you want to add using wizard, what is the process? You'll give a name, you'll choose the type as pick list, and in the display type you need to choose radio buttons and just assign the values. Okay, like yesterday how I defined these country and state properties. So like that you can define using wizard. But if you want to add using this process, let's see. So give a name and click on open. See here in the wizard level UI control, no need to manually configure. Okay, but here means mainly for 2 or 3 types manually we need to configure the UI control, mainly radio button, drop down if you're using. So manually I need to change the control. So type will be text only, because the values which you are giving for the radio button are text values. So we'll be giving that, we'll keep the type as text only. I said that other types are there, right? Page properties and advanced properties. So in this category, you can choose. If you click on change option, you can choose whether it is a page or advanced. You can choose it accordingly. Another thing is here under the single value, we can see these are all the types available. Okay. So now, so no need to change the type option, because in the change here you don't get pick list. Okay, in wizard option you'll get pick list option, but here we don't get pick list option. See, what we need to do is directly in the UI control, so we have this drop down option here, so directly we can choose the control name. So it is not any difficult thing to remember. Generally, a radio button and drop down when you're using, so manually we have to provide these controls. So if it is a drop down means PX drop down we have to give. If it is a radio button, PX radio buttons is the name of control. You need to choose in the down arrow. Click on down arrow in the keyboard. You can see PX radio buttons you'll be having. Select that. And now I need to use these records, that is I need to add some static records right now. See, you'll be having an option called table type, so you'll get a default as none. See here again many options are there, but mostly to add static records, two options regularly will be using. One is local list and other one is prompt list. See, what is local list means, if I select local list, directly one set of value I can assign, that is directly I can give male and female like this. So this is prompt value and this is standard value. So in local list there is no separate standard value and separate prompt value like in the yesterday scenario. So yesterday means when you create through widget, it will create using prompt list, it will be created. So if it is a prompt list means we can give a standard value separately, prompt value separately. Suppose in prompt value is display value and condition value we can give it as just a code form, we can give m, we can give. And if it is a other value, in prompt value give the full value, display value, and here just give it as m. So like that, if I want to give a two set of values, one display text and one condition value, so we can give using prompt list. Suppose if you don't two different set of values same, if you want like a display value and condition value both if you need same, then directly you can give it in the local list. So whatever your requirement is there at the time, so you have to assign the values like this. So then save the property. So the same thing we cannot add through widget also, but this is also another approach where we can create properties. Okay, like that I will be creating one more example, but mostly widget is recommended when defining these fields and all. So one more example like a city. I'm using a drop down control for this. I want to give a drop down and some records I want to assign. So type no need to change, text only. And in the control option, so if it is a drop down means we need to select the control name as drop down here. And I want to assign static records. Okay, I can go with local list right now. So if it is a drop down, mostly first value give a caption. So first value, so try to give some caption. So I'm just giving some records. So these are static records I told. Later we'll change these records to dynamic data. Don't worry, that you'll understand in the further scenarios. Okay, and just give some records and save it. So, but mostly we'll be using widget instead of this project. So using widget, it will be easy to create. And there is one more option called quick create a property. See what is quick create means? See, in create a property, we'll open the rule form and we'll fill the parameters. Suppose if I want to use quick create option, quick create means, let's see one example. Again, you'll open from data model only. But what is the quick create means? See, without opening the rule form, here itself we can define the property type and add the property, but it is not possible for every type of control. See, basic types will be there. Only single value, some basic types will be there. If I want to use them, for example, I'm using a property name as pin code. See, the thing is here, except radio button and drop down, remaining controls and all, what are the type you choose based on type, it will automatically configure the UI control. See, UI control, so in the widget level means for every type it will configure. But in the last two examples, when you're using radio button and this drop down, then only we have to manually use the control. Suppose if you're using any other types here, for example, I don't want to open the rule form. Okay, so without opening the rule form, we can go to these advanced settings. See, some basic types will be there. Any of these types, if you choose, automatically control, UI control will configure. No need to update them. See, when I can go with these quick create means, so if there is, suppose for your field, there are no need to define any static records and no need to change the UI control, then you can go for the quick create option. See, pin code, I want to give the type as text only. So what I can do after these additional configuration settings are open, so you'll get this button, create and close button you'll be getting. So what you can do, you can directly click on this button, create and close. So what it will happen, property will be created and also the tab also will close. So like any of these types, if you want to choose, you can also go with this quick create option you can use. Okay, so if you remove these, what happens means you cannot choose the type. So if you open these advanced settings, so what are the basic types we have, it will show here. So for pin code, I want to use text only. So click on this button, create and close. Now, the next thing is So let's say one more option I'll show you. One more property I'll show you using quick rate. Okay, here if I choose the type as integer or anything, so it will automatically configure UI control. So I'm selecting the type integer for this, or you can also go for this decimal also, but I'm using integer. So when you choose integer, automatically in the background px integer like control UI control will be configured. Text, if you choose px text input. So like that, for some types, if you just only type if want to assign, and based on type if want to automatically configure UI control, you can also go for quick rate, because for this we don't define any static records and no need to manually update the control. So when I can go for this quick rate means, so when there are no static records for your field, and if there is no need to change UI control, then I can go for this quick rate option directly. Click on this button, create and close. So property will be created and the tab also will close. So like that, these are the three different ways, but mostly this is also not recommended in the present version. So present version, this wizard is recommended, sorry, this one. So wizard is recommended to define any single value properties. So what are other properties and how to create them, you'll understand in the next scenarios. But in order to define these single value properties, even though we have three different options, so mostly try to use this wizard only. If you want to practice one or two, you can open and try, but mostly try using this wizard option. Okay, again, other every regularly properties, every session will be creating regularly step by step. So other options in property rule, again, we'll understand in the coming scenarios, we'll understand. So that is how the basic introduction to properties creation. Now what are the list of properties created in this platform? If you are unable to see the updated properties, once refresh. So I told there are different ways to refresh this data. So either if you click on this drop down, so you'll get this refresh app explorer. Use that, or right click on the class and click on refresh all or refresh class. So now expand this data model, expand property. You can see the list of properties which are created through wizard and through data model. Create a property and we create a property. Okay, now in the next scenario, I'm going to use these properties in UI design, like user interface design. So first I'll give some basic intro. So what is the rule which we'll be using? See, in Pega platform, the UI is built in. That is, I mean to say, all the user interface templates are built in. Just we need to reuse them from a rule called section rule. Okay, we'll be using a rule called section, and in that we are going to just complete that design platform. Everything will be given, templates and everything will be given. So just we need to configure these properties inside that section rule. So the next one is, after property creation, you will be getting a requirement to complete the user interface design. So user interface design, in order to complete that, so Pega contains a rule called section rule from user interface category. So this is the main rule which will complete the design. All the templates and everything are integrated in this rule. Okay, it's a user interface rule, and the name of rule is section. Okay, and this section contains some internal templates. Okay, we can call them as layouts and controls. Okay, so layouts are nothing but like a table structure, like a rows and columns, some tables you'll be getting. So we'll call them as layouts here, and we'll get some controls. See, during property creation, what are the controls we have? Apart from that, some additional controls also you'll be getting. So other name, we can also call them as UI elements. Okay, controls means what? Like a integer is a control, text input is a control, radio button, checkbox, buttons, links, images, videos, okay, menus. So like many controls you'll be having additionally in the UI design level. Okay, property level, some types and controls will be given. Apart from that, in the design level, so again the same property controls and some additional controls also you'll be getting. Okay, so in order to work on this rule, so practically you'll understand more. Okay, technically points will be less to first of all know, but step by step we'll be working on multiple designs. Today we'll understand some basic scenario, like basic options you'll understand today in the first example. So then when I'm working on the rule, you'll understand more about this particular section. So basically, so this section contains all the layouts and built-in controls. So just you have to reuse them in order to configure the UI design. Okay, And what I'm going to do means, what are the fields created here? So these fields I'm going to use in the design. In the first design, I'm going to use all these fields. See, we can just drag and drop them. So let's see the process. And wherever in which class your fields are there, there only we need to define the UI design. Okay, so mostly UI designs, 99% UI designs will create in the work layer. Okay, but there are some scenarios where we may create in the data classes also. Some scenarios will create, but in the coming sessions you'll understand when to create in the other classes in application. But initially, any UI design I create in the application, in the work layer and work classes will be creating. So now right click on this class option. So requirement is add these properties and add a new UI design. So if you go to user interface category, so the rule name is section. So click on this. See, mode is nothing but here. So there is no separate mode will not be there. Okay, so commonly it will be there. Later if want to change, you can change in the design level. We can change, guys. So when you open this section rule, so give a name for the section. So I'm giving some name as customer section and click on open. See, when you open this section tool, you will get a some template. By default, one template will be there. Okay, but Pega will also provide some different templates based on the design requirement. We can choose any other template also. You can choose if required. So mostly we'll go with the default, and later if you want to change also you can update. Okay. So first of all, when you open this section rule, so you'll get a one default template will be already selected. Okay, but if you want to change any template from the current one, so if you go to the change option, you can see the list of templates available. You can see. Okay, when you open this, you can see the default template will be one column, but Pega will also provide some other templates based on your requirement. So based on the design requirement, like how much width is required for the pages or any other alignments or requirements accordingly, so you'll get a different set of templates will be provided here. Okay, so from that list you can choose according to our design requirement. Okay, how many columns you want to divide, or if you want to divide with the row formats or any image formats or any menu formats like that, so you'll be having some different templates here. So as of now, first we'll understand with the default template. Okay, so from default template, again how to adjust the formats and all. So actually, without changing the template also, we can go with a default template also we can go. So already the default template is selected. Okay, so what we need to do means convert to full section editor. See, any design if want to change or any design if want to add, so we need to convert to full section editor. So this first screen only we have to choose the template. Okay, if you don't need any other template means already the default template is already chosen. So now directly go to the editor, section editor will be calling. Select the link in the top and click on submit. So there we have to design these formats and everything, all the settings and every controls and all, layouts, controls and settings and all come under this section editor. Okay, and in this you'll be getting a default layout called dynamic layout. So in this, what are the things, you'll some internal settings will be there, and you'll be getting all the things like if you go to this structure menu, you'll have these are all layout types and other things. The remaining four controls or four menus what are we have, so these are all controls. Under data picker, some basic controls you'll be having. Under pickers you'll be having some like a drop down, auto complete, okay, checkbox, all these controls will be available. Under action, like button, links, menus, attachments, like that, some controls will be there. And in the data display, like labels, videos, charts, paragraphs, okay, images and all, like controls, some additional controls will be there. So like that, here everything is given. So only thing is, according to our design requirement, we need to use them in our template here. Okay, and in this template we can add properties, sections, UI elements and other dynamic layouts. So the meaning is here, directly we can add properties in this. Okay, in the future we will create some sections, and same section if required in other design, we can call one design in other design also we can call, but not today. You'll understand in coming scenarios. And we can add UI elements. UI elements are nothing but controls. See, some controls will particularly use in this design, like buttons, links, or some additional controls. So during property creation, already some control will be configured. But apart from that, we can also include some additional controls also can include. And apart from that, we'll be adding some other dynamic layouts. Okay, sub layouts also we can add in the dynamic layout. So okay, inside one layout, some internally some sub layouts also we can divide. So like that, in these properties, sections, controls, and dynamic layouts we can add. Okay, so today we'll see how to use properties and layouts. We'll see, because UI elements today it will automatically configure. Later any additional controls how to use, step by step you'll understand. Okay, and first thing is, in the layout some settings will be there. Some settings we can change according to our requirement. So what I'm going to do means, so if you directly add the property, what happens means it will occupy per row. We can add only one field only we can add. Generally, if want to add a property inside this layout, so we can just drag and drop. See, what is the property you're going to use. See, left side of the property name, if you place the pointer, so your property will be selected. If you place the pointer left side of the name, your property will be selected. So just to select and drag and drop inside the layout. So when you add directly, it will occupy the entire row. Per row we can add only one property or one field only we can add. Okay, so what we'll be doing means, generally before adding properties we'll set some format, layout format will be setting, and some title also will give for the pages. Okay, so first let's see how to set the layout format and how to add a title for the page. So for that, open, double click on this layout anywhere. If you double click, it will open some dialog box. So some settings will be there here, and the first one we are going to know is layout format. Okay, see, some default format will be there. So but I'm going to choose a format called about inline. I'll discuss later. Default and stack both are similar. Okay, and what is inline I'll use in the coming scenarios. So you'll be having other formats like double and triple. See here, double means it will divide the entire layout into two parts, or two grids it will divide. So if you select double means per row we can add two controls or two properties we can add. Triple, if you select per row we can add three fields or three controls we can add. Okay. So as of now I want to set the format as double. So I'm selecting inline grid double as the layout format. And other thing what I want to set is, I want to give a title for this page. So display header and title, one checkbox will be available. So enable this checkbox. So after selecting this, you will get these container settings. And here you can provide the title, and default heading level and all will be getting. If you want to change, you can change. So I'm giving some title which it will display in the top of page. So I'm giving some value. So then click on submit. So what we did is, first I set the layout format and title. Okay. So then what I'm going to do means, if I directly drag the property inside this layout now, say earlier per row we are able to add only one field only we are able to add. Suppose if you try to add any property now, so now it will assign like a two columns, two grids it will be divided, right? So after now it will add per row, we can add two fields you can add. So like a left and right combination it will be added. So because it is divided into inline grid double, right? So when you add the property now, it will add per row two fields it will allow. Okay, but if you select triple means per row we can add three fields we can add, or three controls we can add. See, but my requirement is I don't want like a left and right combination. If you want means you can proceed add the remaining fields like that, but I don't want this alignment like this. So I need a alignment like all the properties I need in the left grid only I require. Okay, I want to add all the fields in the grid one position. So what I said, in the dynamic layout we can also include sub layouts also we can include, that is other dynamic layouts also we can include. So what I'm going to do means, inside the layout one now I want to add a sub layout, because I want all the fields in the grid one only. So if you add a sub layout, then you can include all the fields in the grid one only you can include, not like a left and right combination. If you need left and right alignment, directly you can drag and drop each field, but I don't want the alignment like that. So I want to add a sub layout inside the layout 1. So if I want to add a sub layout, see here in the structural drop down or structural menu, so you can see the first option will be dynamic layout. So if you just select that, see again layouts in one section, I can add multiple layouts I can add. Okay, you can add before this one, you can add after this one, you can add, or inside the layout also you can add. So in this requirement we need a layout inside this layout 1. Okay, so in the future if you want to add outside, means if you give outside it will become layout 2. Okay, like before the layout also you can add if any, after some design configuration. So but in this requirement we need to add inside the layout 1, so then it will become 1.1. Okay, suppose in the future in the right side if you need some other design like any other fields or any other paragraphs or images if you want to load, then in the future you can add it in the right grid is the red grid 2. So if you add there it will become 1.2, but it is not mandatory. If any requirement is there, then only you can add. If there is no requirement, means you can just leave it empty right now. Whenever you get a requirement, then you can add a sublayout in the grid 2. Okay, now in the 1.1 we are going to drop all your properties, so that all the alignment will come to the left grid. All the properties will be aligned to the left side of the page. Okay, and right side you can leave it as empty right now. In the future if you need any other design requirement, you can add it in the layout 2, and then we can configure any other things later. Okay, as of now, so after adding 1.1, see for sublayouts also some other formats will be there, we can set if required. Because see, if you directly add the property in the 1.1, see the property alignment name we are getting in the top and label we are getting in the bottom. So actually most of the designs we get name left side and text box right side, right? Like a label will be displayed left side of the control, and text box will be displayed to the right side. So if you want such alignment for your fields, so in sublayouts and all we don't set double or triple. Okay, only for the main layout only we'll set double or triple. See for the sublayouts we'll be having some other formats will be there. Okay, so open sublayout settings and choose option as other. So in the other again some other additional controls you'll be having. So I'm going to use one control called stacked with labels left. See if I select this control, what happens means your text box label will come to the left side, and that is sorry, label will come to left side and text box will come to the right side. So that any field if you add in 1.1, all the fields will have the same type of control will be having, same type of display will be having. Okay, so once again I will quickly review up to here what I discussed. See basically this section and all you will open from user interface category. The purpose is to add the complete the UI design with the templates available. So you'll get all the layouts and controls built in here. By using them we can complete the UI design. Just we need to choose the formats and all the layout templates, and we need to just drag and drop the fields. So once we open the section, so first thing is here you will get these where you have to choose the template selection will be there. So if you don't want to choose any template, go with the default template, because already one default template will be already chosen. So if you want to change means then only open the change settings, otherwise directly click on the convert to full section editor. Then it will go to the editor page where we are going to add the main design configuration. So in this first thing what I did is I need to choose the layout format. If you click on these layout settings, so we can change the format of the layout to inline grid double you can change. And I want to set the title for this page, so enable display header and title, so that you can give the any new title if you want to give for the page you can enter. So after that, then you can see the format will be, you can see the name and layout format is set for this. Under this add a sub layout now. So under the layout one add a sub layout, it will become 1.1. If you go to structural drop down, so drag and drop the dynamic layout inside layout 1, it will become 1.1. Then in the sub layout also we can change some formats. Okay, not mandatory, but mostly we'll be setting the format as stacked with labels left will be setting. If you select other, then in the other column you can choose the format type you can choose. Then after selecting the format, then the alignment will be like this completely. So now you can drop your properties. What are the properties you have created earlier? So all the properties one after another, one by one, See, at a time one property we can add here. See how to add a property means left side of the property you'll get these dotted lines, dots we can see. There you have to place the pointer, then select and drag and drop inside the 1.1. Okay, so like one by one you have to drop the property, select each property and drop inside the layout here 1.1 inside that I'm adding. So like that, add the one by one you can add the properties. So you can change the alignment later also. So after country I'm adding state. Then what are the fields left? Email ID is there. Then we have gender. Then I'm having this phone number. Okay, it is not added. So once again add phone number properly. So like that we can just drag and drop the properties. And during property creation, okay, phone number you think it is already added. Delete duplicate is there, you can delete the duplicate one. Okay, so and during property creation, what are the control given for your property? So it will display in the UI in that format. See, radar button, if you take, it will display in the UI as a radar button control. If you take drop down, it will take as a, it will display as a drop down. Okay, so or any other, if you take text or integer or email ID or phone or whatever, it will display as text input. Okay, so the box will be like this. Whether you take phone or email ID or pin text or integer or anything if you take, so the plain text box will display. Okay, so like that, but internally, so the text box will be look same, but internally validation, it will perform a different validation for each property. Okay, what type of property type you have chosen, accordingly internally it will perform some validation. Okay, and now after the design you can save this section. So we can see the preview of the page. See, as of now, I'm not going to add any buttons because buttons will be automatically generated if you map it in the workflows and all. Tomorrow you'll understand what is workflow design. See here, if you want to see the preview, how it will look. If you go to this action drop down, you can see the preview of the page where you can check the preview for this. Okay, so here you can see the page will be in the live environment. So in the Pega you can check it in the application itself, you can check how it is going to display in the live environment. Okay, and buttons no need to add right now. In the flow, automatically when you include this UI design in the workflows, automatically buttons will be generated. So that I will understand in the next session, tomorrow session. Now in this section, some settings, some basic settings I'm going to show you. So we'll understand some basic settings in the section. See, first one is, see in the section rule, if you want to change any control, see during property creation we have set some control. See, if you want to change any control in the design level, we can change. See, property level we have set some control. Suppose I have given drop down for country, right? If I want to change the control, open this, double click on this, or if you click on this settings, okay, if I double click on this column, or if I click on this settings, it will open some dialog box. Okay, see, present control is drop down. So if you want to change any UI control for any property, so next to the control name, this is the drop down is the control name. So next to that you can change this. If I want to give, like I want to go with a autocomplete in the UI design, so what I can do, so what are the controls we have, so it will show all the list of controls. So I want to go with autocomplete, select this and click on submit. So like that, now property level, property is a source rule here. Now UI is the target rule. So we updated the control in the target here. So but in the property level, it will be drop down only. Suppose again, if you use the country property in some other UI design, so it will add as a drop down only, it will add. But only in the UI design, I updated the control. Okay. Like that in UI design, if you want to change the control for any property, you can change it according to your requirement. Okay. Now, just a difference between drop down and autocomplete. Tomorrow, when I execute the flow, you'll understand the difference. Okay, a small minute difference will be there. Drop down means you'll click on down arrow. Autocomplete means click on down arrow from the keyboard. From keyboard we have to click, or if you type any character, relevant records are there means it will display the relevant records. Don't worry, execution I will show you tomorrow. These validations also I'll show you how to test the validations also. In tomorrow's session you will understand that. Okay. Now other setting I want to show is, see for every property here, what are the name given for the property, same will display as a label also. Okay, see name, f name given means f name will display as a label. So but if I want to change any label for any property, double click on these settings. Suppose I want to change the label for f name to first name I want to change. See by default property name only will assign as a label here. But if I want to update the label for any property, so you can see this checkbox will be there, enable label. By default it will be enabled. So if I want to update any label means we have to disable this, then I can customize the label for this property. So I want to give something like a first name with spaces. So if I want to update any label means disable the checkbox in the property settings for which you want to update. Then you can provide what are the custom label you want to assign for it for this property. You can assign it manually. So like that I'll update for the next one also. Then it will display the, so here display name will be getting the what are the label updated, so that you'll get as a display name. Otherwise by default every field when you drag and drop, so you'll get the property name whatever given, same you'll get as a label. If you want to update means, so manually we can open the field and we can disable the checkbox, and here you can give the label whatever you want to give as a display value, or sorry display name, you can update here. Then that is one setting. And other setting I want to show is, see in every web application pages some required fields will be there, like a mandatory star mark will be there, and where user must compulsory give input for that field. So any field here if I want to set it as the required field, see by default every field the value is optional. Okay, but if I want to set it as a required field, so then open these settings. Okay, I'm going to open first name. So you'll have this option called required. So what we need to choose means, so by default it will be never. What I have to choose means, so to set any field as a required field we have to select always. So if you select always, so you'll get a star mark next to the field. So if the star mark is there means, so user will understand that compulsory input must be given for this field. So without giving input, so user cannot submit the transaction, or user cannot submit the form here. Okay, so like that in the application whenever any field if want to set it as a required field, so you have to apply this setting. So any field if want to set like that, open the settings. In the required option we have to choose, it will be never by default. We need to choose the type as always we have to choose. So like that one more setting I want to show is, see here for every actually what are the fields I have taken here. See there will be some text element will be there for every field, some text element will be there. Okay, see text elements for example, suppose if I give any input here, so the value is aligned from the left side. Okay, suppose if I take some other here if I give any input, so the value is taken from the right side. This is called as right alignment. Suppose if I give any value for some setting, so the value if I given here, so it is left aligned here. So like that here when you add any property in the UI, see based on the type of property, here some types will be left aligned and some types will be right aligned. So in Pega most of the types are left aligned only, but one type will be automatically right aligned they have set, that is integer. See any integer types if you give, see when, okay this is not a mandatory option, but if you want to update we can update in the real time, it is a best practice. So in every field here label, if you take text or if you take phone email or if you take radio buttons drop downs, all the other controls will be having left alignment will be there. Even any text if you take or any other types except integer, all the property values will be left aligned automatically. When user give the input for these fields, automatically from left side it is aligned. But for integer types if you see, it will be automatically right alignment will be there, manually we have to change. Okay, if you check for any text field here, where we can check that alignment option means, if you go to presentation tab, so there is an option called text alignment. So by default it will be left for most of the fields except integer. Okay, So I'm not changing here. Majority of the fields in this design are left alignment. Only age is having right alignment in this design. So what I'm going to do means open age property settings. That is, you can double click on age or open settings and go to presentation. So you can see the alignment. You can see by default what is there, right is there. So what we can do, I can change this to left. Center will be there, we don't use center anytime. So change this to left. Not mandatory, but if you want to change, you can change it like for the any integer fields, and majority of the fields are text type, and only one integer or two, or one two integer fields are there means you can do it manually, you can do. Okay, so once again I will repeat these steps. Give me 1 second. Okay, so once again I'll repeat what I discussed. So some basic settings, whatever I discussed is how to change the control of the property. Any UI control if you want to change. See, initially during property creation, what are the control given? Same will display in the UI design after adding property. If you want to change any control means open property settings and you can see all the list of controls whatever available. So what is your requirement, accordingly we have to choose. So here I changed this drop down to auto complete, I change. Then next one is, so how to update a property label. So if you want to give a different name as a display value in the UI, so initially property name whatever given it will take as it is. So if you want to change, that means disable the label checkbox and enter the label manually. Okay, then how to update the, how to set any field as a required field. So open any property settings and in the required option we have to choose always. So that will set it as a required field for any requirement is there means. And how to change the text alignment. So text alignment by default it will be depend upon the type of property, either it will be left or right side will be there. So if you have any integer types means you can change to the left side, because remaining all the types will be having left alignment. Suppose any particularly if integer types are there, that is also not mandatory. If you want to give all the alignment to one side, if you want to give, then you can change the alignment to the left side. So like that we can change the some basic settings. These are like that. If you open any field here, okay, some additional settings will be there but not mandatory every time, only if requirement is there you can do. So this label, and did you understand this? Like that, if you want to set any default values for any property, not mandatory for again. So whenever required I'll tell you. So any default values if you want to set, we can assign the value here. And other things I'll discuss later. Placeholder and all nothing but see, placeholder is nothing but a caption, value caption we can say. Actually this will be giving for any drop downs or radio buttons are there, for that will be assigning, no need to give for the text input fields. And a helper text is like a tooltip. Okay, tooltip means, see, when you place the hover or anything, so or if you place the arrow hover, it will automatically show some text like a, for example, username is there. So for username we have to give like minimum 8 character length should be there, one special character, one number, and one capital letter. Like that, if you want to give any helper text or anything, we can pass it in the, here we have to choose always visible in the inline, or help icon with overlay on hover. So like a tooltip, okay, this is not recommended. Present in older versions it is called as tooltip, but in the present version they updated the name to helper text. So mostly we'll be using this middle option, help icon with overlay on hover, so that we have to provide the text whatever you are going to when user plays the hover, it will display the text. So like that, this is one thing. Visibility conditions in the second UI design you'll understand in the after 3 sessions. We'll work on page properties and second UI design. Then I'll show you how to apply these visibility conditions. And disable this property if you want to disable. Actually we'll never disable any property, but just option will be there. Okay, like that, these are some basic settings. Again, if you use any other property type, maybe one two settings can be different. Okay, for example, if you take radio buttons, so the property settings can be slightly different. Again, here what are the settings we have? based on the type of property you'll be getting. Okay, mostly it will be common, maybe one two settings can be different. See, if it is a radio button or drop down, additionally you'll be getting this list source. Okay, but you'll not get for the other types, you'll not be getting only for radio button, drop down, auto complete. For that only you'll be getting this list source. What is the list source, you'll understand in the coming scenarios. Like that, in every property you'll get this presentation. Again, I told you in this like a how to set the field as a alignment, and some other settings will be there. How you want to display the values horizontally or vertically. That is, orientation means here the vertically the values are displayed. Suppose if you select horizontally, side by side you're going to get the values. Okay, so like that, some internal settings based on the type of property you'll be getting. That all you can check one by one, that is not a difficult thing. So just to change the options and you can verify. Okay, then in the coming classes we'll understand actions. Actions means any conditions or business logic we set. Then for that, related to that, any values we are going to change or values we are going to give. So we'll apply some conditions whenever we define any visibility conditions, or when you call any business logic like activities, data transforms, or other data pages if you call. Then we have to define in the actions, we have to define. Not required today, but in the coming classes we'll be working on this. In the next UI design, I'm going to show all the remaining conditions. Like that, every scenario you'll understand some new option you are going to understand. Okay, so today just I shown some basic options, but in the coming we'll be working on many UI designs, right? Like 15 to 20 designs I'll be creating. At that time, every time when I work on a new design, I'll be showing some new feature and new advanced setting I'm going to show you. Okay, so that is about the UI design, guys. Once again, I'll quickly review. So like that, UI designs will be very simple to add in Pega platform. Okay, so only thing is you'll be getting this rule called section rule. So in this, UI is already built in here. That is, UI is built in means all the templates and controls are built in, so it will be easy for a developer to just reuse those controls and templates and complete the design. So in that, at the time of creating the design, we'll set some formats and we'll set some settings, and we are going to, according to our design requirement, we are going to configure the fields in this design. So in this design, what I did is, so after the design is open, I updated some layout settings, set the title, and I set the format as double. And after that, so in this, I want all the properties in left alignment I need. So what I did is I added a sub layout inside the main layout, and for the sub layout also I set the format as stacked with labels left, so that if I add any property, label will display to the left side and text box to the right side, it is going to display. So I added all the properties in that way. And I discussed about some basic settings in the section. So like that, whenever we work on this UI design, so you'll be working on the, whenever any requirement is there. And again, in the next scenarios we'll be working on visibility conditions. And sometimes in a section we'll call, other sections will be calling. Another thing is, after this, in a section sometimes more than one layout also we can configure. So if you have a some set of properties, like a different set of properties if we have, and further if want to apply any conditions, then we'll be creating these multiple layouts we can add in a section. Accordingly we can configure the design. Sometimes we will hide the pages. Okay, on selecting some value, then only it should display the next panel and all. Like that, we'll be understanding step by step. So other advanced settings and other conditions will apply in the section rule. But whenever we create a section rule, so there is one rule called flaction rule. Okay, so if you, mostly what we will do means, this UI designs will connect, will map it in the flow rule we are going to map, like in workflows we are going to add. So if you want to map this section in a workflow, so we need to call this section inside a rule called flaction. Okay, that I will show it in the next session. But anytime if you are creating a section means, the next step is we need to call this section rule inside a flaction rule. So that is, flaction is nothing but container. And more information regarding the flaction and how to define, so I'll continue that in the next session. I'm going to continue. Okay, so up to here you can go through and just play with these options, guys. Just you can just open each, and whether you change the setting or not, what you need to do means, so open each and every field and try to analyze the, what are the parameters we have in these settings and all. So open and just analyze. That is not a difficult thing. So what you have to do is not only just doing what I'm doing. Apart from that, analyze, open each and every field and open layout settings. What are the other things we have? Just analyze them. Okay, maybe in the next scenarios we'll be using them, but know the first of all, read all the parameters what are we have in the layout settings and in the field settings, so that you'll be familiar with all the options here. Okay, so not only just doing just dragging and dropping and just knowing whatever I'm doing, not only that, additionally just know the in the controls what are the control names are there, just analyze them. Okay, in action drop down what controls we have, just know them. Okay, as of now, just after this design adding will take only 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So after that, what you need to do, you have to just play with these options. What are the things we have in this each control? You can open and just know the parameters what are we have in these control settings or in the layout settings, so that you'll be familiar with all these terms step by step. Okay, so you have to do that today. And okay, you'll be getting access guys today by end of the day, who didn't get the video access and these notes access. So I'll not send any mail separately. So all of you will be getting the already, I think everyone in my students who already joined and given their email IDs, I think everybody got the video access and document access you got, I think. So only thing is, today for other students I'll be sharing today. And every day you will not get any separate mail. In the drive only the video and document will be updated automatically. Okay, by afternoon and all. So today's class video and document will be updated in the drive automatically. Separately I will not send any email again. So once you'll get access today, remaining people, so you'll be getting all the class notes and videos step by step. It will be automatically updated in the drive. Okay, from tomorrow